Sorry about that. Hello, everyone. I know that was probably the most awkward introduction of this channel's history, but I did have sudden emergency things come up on this other screen that I have pulled up. I love this screen. It's bent, it's curved. I don't know if you can tell, but I really like it. It's really fun. I hope y'all can hear me when I talk directly over the mic like that. Trying to fix my camera. Oh, that's why, because the back is like that. There we go. I really, really, really like that camera. I mean, like that monitor. um, welcome, welcome back to the Inner Storyteller. Please consider subscribing to the channels, hitting that noti bell, hit that noti bell, that noti. Get notified whenever my um handsome face is gracing the interwebs live in action. And here's some things you already know. If you're here, then you're in for some real conversations, and that is definitely what we are going to have today. Here for real conversations, we talk about natural law, religion, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the great. We talk about money, anarchy, culture, and how mankind is manipulated by forces that are in the shadows and do not have our best interests at heart. And we are not bashing faith systems here. We are simply examining the real, deep, and psychological causes and effects of the stories that we have the most faith in and how those stories help shape society. And that examination has to sit right alongside an honest look at the current human condition, which is slavery. Government is slavery. And the question we have to keep coming back to is what can actually be improved with a proper understanding of the inner storyteller and how it works. And what we are going to look at today, good people, is well, on Instagram, I have started saving videos that I want to react to. I have a lot. Okay, we are not going to get to even 1% in any given one episode. But I do want to kind of just start from the top and just go this way. You know what I'm saying? Or at least, I'll do the six right here. Then maybe in a future episode, I'll do the six right here. Or if I save some more, it'll work out the way that it works out. But because I don't want to start with this one, we'll do this one maybe second. But we're gonna react to some videos that are on the internet, okay, that are on Instagram. Today we're picking Instagram, and because I made this playlist, so we're gonna pick Instagram a lot in this series, and we're gonna talk about it through like what it makes me think about. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys join me in the comments with your reactions, then I'll also have some energy to bounce off of. But I do have to warn you, good people. This information, the videos that I save are not always saved to make you smile. I do have one today that will hopefully make you smile. But the videos that I save, the ones that I want to react to, they're not just about how the world is just sunshine and rainbows and how you can think your way into manifesting $1 million whenever you really choose to and whenever you really want to. Um or any of that shit. I don't engage in it. Okay? I don't walk with the fantasy of it's okay to ignore the suffering of 75% of the world as long as me and my family are cool anymore. I used to be number one, member of that cult, but I've since quit that cult and I encourage you to quit that cult too. We have work to do. We have a lot of work to do as a human family. And I want to expose some things that are help expose some things that are going on. So for this first video, this has like 64,000 likes. Uh, let's just check out what's going if it's gonna play. That is. Do I need to refresh?
We should go over.
As soon as I click refresh, it wants to start playing. Isn't that crazy? Let me go back. Profile. It's being really slow. It's probably because I'm streaming. Saved. All posts. I want that notification to go away so bad. Okay. Let's try this again.
We should go over this disruptions thing because if we want to ban somebody in the future, like to actually take them out, we have to point out specifically say who's being
We're going to set a term on this. We can't do that. We can't. I spent my first 6 months going through this. I wanted to give people like probation. You can't.
And that is a government official getting caught on a hot mic trying to stop your ability to protest your government, your freedom of speech, your right to assemble, your right to say, I don't want that at a public meeting. They're rigging it against you, caught red-handed, and then as we'll see, they just have you arrested, like this man right here.
What's Bill's response?
Will somebody give
You all no longer work with terrorists? What's going on?
You need to leave. Has to leave. This is a public meeting. Okay. You can give me Sarah. You can have to leave. On what grounds?
Right now.
I said on what grounds?
Arrest him.
Can you get my folder, please?
And that's what happens. You go against the government, they change the rules on you, as we saw right there, right before that.
And you know, what's really crazy about it is not just the fact that all he did was share his thoughts, maybe some thoughts that other people have shared with him, and some facts to support how he came to his conclusion. Not only the fact that all he was doing was exercising his right to assemble and right to free speech when he was put in torture cuffs and told that he's getting ready to have to go sit in a cage, but the fact that there are so many more people there than officers. And the crowd of people didn't immediately stand up and ask, what is going on here? We demand an answer as to what is going on here, since rights are being violated in front of our face. And we happen to be in a situation where there's so many more of us than you. We just want to know exactly what you're doing and why, and like on what authority are you taking these actions. That's the craziest part to me, is that in a room full of people, and I mean, the saddest part about it is, even if this man started pleading with the crowd, please stop them. My rights are being violated. I have a right to be here. I have a right to speak. The crowd would definitely still do nothing. Right? And not only that, but the crowd would do nothing and feel like they did the right thing by not voicing their opinion when the shit hit the fan. They would feel like they stayed out of the situation that they were not supposed to be involved in, and they participated in the situation that they were supposed to be involved in. Even though we see clearly that participation, meaning following their rules, gets you nowhere. We see that when you go through the front door and you say, okay, I brought my little notes and I brought my facts and I have my opinions, and for my allotted 3 minutes or whatever, the town hall limit is, I'm going to share my opinions and I'm going to ask to pass out these facts. And you do that, and your facts are not what they want to hear. They will put torture cuffs on your hands, force your hands to stay behind your back, and then put your physical body in a cage of steel and call this the land of the free. right? Because the facts that you are sharing at this town hall, whatever, again, to protest the data center agenda, you are a threat, and you have to be treated as a criminal until we have determined the threat has been neutralized. Not necessarily that you're dead, but that the threat that you posed is now a moot point. Doesn't matter anymore. Let's continue our reaction with something a little more hard hitting, and then I will go to the happy one for a little break.
I've been trying to make this video for 2 hours and I am struggling. It's not news that what Israel is doing in Gaza is a massacre, is a genocide. What is news as of this week is that the UN has officially ruled that children are particularly being targeted by IDF soldiers, that the levels of child mutation, death, targeted deaths to the chest and to the head, sexual assault, child prisoners is unmatched. There are going to be people who are like, you set up a camera to cry. No, I set up a camera to educate on this, but I can't stop crying because it is so goddamn wrong. I'm humiliated that it took me as long as it did to wake the fuck up. The fact that there are still so-called God-fearing people who, even after being incessantly called out, incessantly called higher, remain silent or worse. I used to work at Live Action. They pride themselves in being the largest pro-life organization in the world. I have reached out to people I once considered friends at the organization who have completely ignored me, or worse, gaslit me and said things like pro-life only means you're anti-abortion.
Right, we talked about that a little bit earlier. I actually used to support Live Action until I saw in real time not only their complete silence on the Israel-Palestine conflict, but also when I saw Lila Rose herself supporting the actions of the Israeli government. It was very surprising to me because I thought what she thought. I thought pro-life meant preserving the sanctity and sacred honor of all life, right? Especially all human life, right? But basically honoring the fact that human life has value from inception to last breath, and even be your memory has value even beyond that. Who you've inspired, what you've helped build, stuff like that, right? I thought pro-life, what it meant to people at Live Action, meant standing up for the suffering of others, or standing up in response to the suffering of people who are not just yourself. Apparently, to Live Action, it doesn't. So I do not support that organization for those reasons. The first sentence in the caption of this video is the majority of deceased Gazans taken out by IDF are aged 5 and under. So not just 5, which is horrific enough. The majority, more than 50%, of Gazans taken out by the Israel Defense Force, it says, are aged 5 and under. The UN found that masses of, quote, shredded children are undergoing emergency amputations without anesthesia because of lack of supplies. 2 9 and 10-year-old brothers were blown up fetching firewood. A 10-year-old baby was shot through his tent while he was being nursed. Just to name a few of these facts. I feel like if I keep reading this, the whole live is just going to get shut off. But it doesn't end there. I read 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 little factoids. Let me see if there's one more. 5 teenagers hiding from a firefight were taken out by the IDF. In addition to heavy artillery, children are specifically being targeted by snipers, quadcopters, and drones aimed directly at their heads and upper bodies. So, me being actual pro-life, standing up for the suffering of others or standing up in response to the suffering of others, I have a huge problem with these factoids. And like the lady said, there are so many organizations, and we're not just talking small organizations. There are huge organizations. Okay, a lot of them nonprofit, some of them for-profit, private organizations that purport to stand on certain principles, to stand by principles like life is precious, human being has inherent value from inception till last breath. Respecting others is respecting yourself, right? And respecting your space, making sure the world around you is clean, is respecting yourself. Like, there are tons and tons of organizations that just off of the principles that they purport to stand by and stand on should be not just like ringing the alarm, but planning and executing plans and objectives in opposition to the continued massacre that's going on over there. Right? It should be a lot more than people who are like, online creators like myself who create content online and write our scripts and try to get the message out in a way that's articulate a lot more. But in your local space, people should hear your voice too. All right, but let's lighten the mood a little bit. Okay, we got into a hot mic, somebody being caught talking about, they said we can't do that anymore. I usually try to give them probation, blah blah blah, talking about charging people for speech against data centers on a hot mic, and then we see them get arrested. And then, some facts about the suffering of others going on that's far in distance away from you, but still you should care about, in my opinion. Let's lighten the mood a little bit with some human potential. Human potential.
So I'm going to put these on first, and let's do that. And then I'm going to put...
Look at how many times her eyes are shielded from, being able to like open her eyes and see under something. And you see, this is sealed, right? This is 360 sealed. There is nothing where she can look down really far, like just above her lower or upper cheek or whatever, and see anything. That is sealed under there. And that's just one layer.
Pirate patches on.
There's another.
Thank you. And then I'm going to put the blindfold on that you just tried on.
Mask and the blackout mask. So she has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of I can't see. And the first one and the last one are total blackout sealed. This, I don't know if y'all know about this mask, but this mask right here has pads where your eyes are inside of the foam that are they serve as like a soft suction. So that's sealed all the way, like right here. That's sealed here too. Okay, this last mask, and then you saw the first layer was like straight up just stickers, and they were sealed all the way 360 on both eyes. Check it out.
Holding up an orange paper.
Okay.
And that one is an open star.
Oh.
I say open because it's hollow.
All right, what am I holding up now?
You're holding up 2 fingers.
What about this?
And you're holding up a blue paper.
All right, what am I holding up now?
You're holding up an Acid for Squares card. Oh wait, no, it's not a card. It's a square. It's a cube. Okay, my bad. I didn't look at that right.
No, you got it, sis.
You still got it. This one.
What is that called? A square. He's holding a diamond, a closed diamond.
All right, what about now?
That's a book from Eckhart Tolle, and it says something now. The Power of Now.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
It's my favorite book. Great book.
She's reading.
What am I holding up now?
That is a mug with an alien on it.
What about this one?
That says illustrated history of UFOs.
What?
It says, as UFOs became an object of popular speculation and interest to the public, thanks largely to the science fiction novels and films, a subculture emerged of those who believed in their extraterrestrial origin. So that was like 5 layers.
So cool.
Human potential. Where am I? Here I am. Human potential is boundless, good people. There, actually, I know I saved another one on this same theme, so I'm gonna play that one as well, and um, and then just react to them both because I'm gonna say the same thing about both of them. Did I not save it? I'm sure I did. I'm not going to leave you in silence, that's for sure. I just want to make sure that I didn't just miss it. Okay, that's one, but I really want to find the other one. I saw one from a different video with the same theme of what we are actually capable of as human beings, but I want to show the best one. Oh. Okay. I guess for one last try, I'm going to go to, let me see, the Truth Seekers saved list and see if I just missed it. No, I guess I didn't. Okay. Well, we can see this one. Pause. Let me make sure I share the screen. Here we go.
The reason the Psi Wheel is promoted so much on my page is because it's the beginning. It's the intro that is accessible to every single one of you guys if you practice it, if you choose to. And when
I don't really want to hear his promotion. Just want you to see, you know, what's possible for the human being before I actually get into what I want to say. Just keep observing. Oh, is that okay? So I guess that's the beginning. I really wish when you hovered over Instagram videos on a computer, they showed the progress bar, because you get a progress bar on your phone now. You didn't used to, but now you get a progress bar on your phone. Anyway, human potential is boundless. One of the most important and also most understated facts about the human family is that our history is written in a way that makes it seem like none of that ever happened. None of the telekinesis, none of the mind sight, which is a type of telepathy or a subset of telepathy. No mind-to-mind communication, hearing and receiving, and sometimes even sending thoughts. I don't have one memory of a history class, a history lesson from a government school or even college, or a heavily history-based class like civics, or some sort of, yeah, like a civics, social studies. I remember social studies in middle school. Reading, some teachers, some language arts or teachers, they'll choose their literature because it covers the history that they want to cover, as well as it covers the vocabulary that they have to cover, right? And it depends on the teacher, sometimes, or it depends on the school, the team, whatever. But regardless, there are a lot of opportunities to share that these things are not only happening, but also possible for almost everybody. And this blatant proof that we get in 2026 of people that can do these things shows me that that piece of the story is deliberately left out, right? That there are people who want human beings permanently separated and permanently ignorant of who we are, what we can do, and what we've been doing since we've gotten here. Now, of course, it's amazing to look at somebody, if you don't feel like it's just, some sort of lie or deception, um, to look at somebody who can move something with their mind, or see through 5 layers of blindfold, or four layers of blindfold, or 5, 6 if you count closed eyelids, because I'm sure it'd be uncomfortable to keep your eyes open with all of those layers of covering. So we the point that I'm getting at is, there would only be one reason why there's a group of people that want us to be separate from this, and that is because it's beneficial to their mind control agenda. It's beneficial to their agenda to keep the public away from certain just factual information about nature and the nature of the human being and the capacity of the human mind, to keep the general human population ignorant of what we are, what we can do, what's possible for mostly everybody. Um and what's possible for the earth, right? The fact that the earth replenishes its gold, replenishes its oil, replenishes its trees and plant life, and replenishes it. The earth is always giving, right? The cycles of the earth, or God through the earth, is always giving. Everything recycles, right? That it's all these key facts about life. They don't just keep us away from our individual potential. They keep us away from our collective potential. And this is the point that I want to make about human capacity, the potential for the human family. We have collectively more than enough heart, mind, and soul power, if you will, to overcome those who are bound to the dichotomy of enslavement and slavery, like enslaving and being a slave. Those who are bound spiritually to that game, or just they just are born with this innate super desire to enslave people and to be in a position where they have their boot on somebody's neck all the time. Those people do exist. They're called psychopaths, sociopaths. They call it a lot of labels. Um, but regardless, we have such a huge advantage and potential over these people, because when you are bound to that game, you leave your ability to imagine. You can't really create, and at the same degree, and definitely not on the same level as people who are free from that game. Free from that game as far as they don't have any desire to rule over anybody. Obviously, we're all ruled over, and so we're not free from their grasp and their policy, if you will. But we are free from their weird mental state where they feel like they have the divine right to rule over people and you have to sit in a cage until you're compliant if you think otherwise. Our potential to overcome them. Thank you. To overcome them is astronomical, right? Thank you so much for your compliment. You have been going in the best way on this human potential topic. Yay! Thank you so very, very, very much. Let's hear some more. I think this might be Candace clip.
So if the elections are phony, then why do they give a shit about the act?
Because the illusion matters.
Why does it matter?
Because think about if truly tomorrow they came out and said, your vote doesn't mean anything. We've been running the elections since the beginning of time.
Your vote doesn't mean anything. We've been running elections since the beginning of time. If they came out and said that.
We kill people in broad daylight. Yeah, we did JFK. We did Charlie and we're going to keep doing whatever the hell we want. So, F you.
You think something would actually happen?
Yeah.
She might be wrong. She might be right. If they came out, and we know they, right? Those at the top of banking, entertainment, government, obviously, religion, and stuff like housing and food. Those at the top of the markets, right? Big pharma, of the markets categories, big relationship, those at the top. Okay, big sales. I don't trust none of these people. They don't have a jurisdiction. So if they were to come out and say yes, the reason that the chaos seems so permanent is because of the spells that we have you under. Here's how we did it, and here's what we're doing. Like, here's irrefutable proof that we are your actual masters. You are our slaves, and we command that you just keep doing your thing as if you really don't even know this information. There is a chance that if they came out and were honest with us, that we would rebel, that we would say no more, and we would probably have to defeat them in some way, shape, or form. They would, scramble for, okay, how many military people are still with us? And they would use their military, and we would scramble and see how many military people are willing to quit their cult and not be on their side. And then we would see, we would see if Alex Zek is right about there not being a real thing as nuclear bombs, right? I thought that was an awesome episode on the way forward, talking about nuclear bombs not being real, or at least the story the story that's told about them not being real, right? That radiation is supposed to be, all in the air and the soil and buildings and whatnot. For years and years and years, and this radiation will cause crazy mutations in the human body and in the rat body, and you'll have rats with human hands and humans with rat hands, and whatnot. And Hiroshima, Nagasaki are thriving cities. We only a couple years away. Pearl Harbor wasn't that long ago. Okay. And they moved back home very fast. And that was supposed to be nuclear explosions with the radiation that follows. And because they know we're so far away from them, we're so far away, they bank on us not caring about the suffering of others, even under the flag that we represent. That we claim to pledge allegiance to, even if Americans drop these bombs that are supposed to have this crazy radiation and be all nuclear, about how they operate, we are still indifferent to the suffering of others as far as taking action in response to them. Indifferent. And banking on that, they knew and they knew correctly that we wouldn't even look into it. We wouldn't even ask the question, well, where's all the where's all the news stories about all these mutated people since people are living literally where the bomb dropped very soon afterwards? Where's all of the, this piece of land is still unlivable and is still dealing with the radiation, and it's been this many years and Japan has still not been able to send one person back home, blah blah blah. Where was all of that? That didn't exist. It never existed. I digress. If those at the top, those that make the spells, if they came out and were completely honest with us about what they're doing, who they are, and commanded us to not care and to keep going and keep funding everything that they want to do and keep empowering their lifestyles, there is a chance that we would say no more and put it to the test. And like I said, one side would try and keep as many military personnel on their side. The other side would try and convert as many military and police personnel and whatnot, whatever it's called in your country. We would try to get all of them to quit their cult as soon as possible. And we would probably, like I said, have to defeat them. That probably wouldn't be easy. They're not dumb. They can't create, but they're not dumb. And their computers are very good at calculation and very well protected. Okay, so I'm not thinking that if we had this scenario that it would be like a Hollywood movie and some hero would show up and it'd be over in 2 seconds. Not at all. But there is a chance that we would rebel. The bigger chance, though, is that we would do nothing. And I don't say that to be morbid, and I don't say that because I don't like myself as a human being. I would be on team F that. Let's go ahead and do whatever we need to do. But not everybody would be with me on that team. I don't think. I think most people would actually say that I'm the one that's in the cult. Even if they were honest, they would say that I'm the one that's in the cult and I'm the one that needs to calm down and stop being so rash. That's what I think. Let's hear some more from Candace in this clip. Very important clip.
Because it's actually something Charlie said to me when we were traveling once. He said, one of his little pop quizzes, what is one thing that every civilization that has ever had slavery since the beginning of human history, what is one thing that every single one of those civilizations has in common?
I don't know.
I didn't know either. And he said there were always more slaves than masters.
Always more of us than them. And there always is. There's always more of us than there are of them. And our job, okay, our task is to stop forgetting that fact. Not only stop forgetting that fact, but also to embrace the truth. Okay, so and let's put that in its correct chronological order. Our job is to embrace the truth. Okay, do a little reading, do a little listening, do a little reevaluation and reflection. Okay, come to some conclusions and stick to them when you're gaslit and you're told you're crazy for coming to your conclusions. Embrace the truth. Find conviction in truthful ideas and solutions that come out of your creativity, your imagination, that are based in truth. Okay, embrace the truth in all ways, heart, mind, soul, body, right, actions. Embrace it. And then, with a fully immersed in truth vessel, including your mind, then come together and implement what living the truth looks like in your local communities, without forgetting the fact that in every conflict that involved slaves and masters, there were always more slaves than masters. You know, I probably should have saved the Candace clip because I feel like that was such a good little send off that I'm gonna end the episode here and the reaction episode right here. And thank you all very, very much for tuning back in to the Inner Storyteller. I do love this reaction series. But thematically, that was a good one, you know, to end on because she could be wrong as well. And I think that clip is longer. You can pursue that clip. It was on the screen, so you'll be able to find it. But she could be wrong. You know, that if they came out and were honest about everything, it could be it could be a fact that we wouldn't do shit. I personally lean in that direction. I don't think the greater population would be on board with a lot of the younger population, like, you know, early 20s population would be. I think they would be off board. I think they would go, "Oh, we knew that already. We knew what they were doing already." You still have to organize a nation under a currency and with a government. So what are we going to do? Just not have a government? You're in a cult. That's my take on how people would behave. So Candace, being as hopeful and optimistic as she often is, thinks that if they were honest, we would say no more. And so that's why they keep up this vote for your favorite president, vote for your favorite person to become president game, is because the illusion matters that much. I think it used to be like that. I think there used to be a lot of strong people in the world. I think we have been successfully weakened as a human family. Not only by poisoning the food, but mostly and for a much longer period of time, poisoning the mind. A much more successful way to weaken your slave class. Have them not know that they're slaves and have them do everything in their power to empower you, thinking that that means they're empowering themselves. Right? That's the most successful and most widespread strategy of enslavers these days. And then, of course, within that larger bubble of mental enslavement, there's still the physical enslavement of their prisoners, and you know, some country, some I should say nations or states or whatever have literal slave classes, and most just have like prisoners of war, different categories like that. But I digress. Y'all know over here you're in for real conversations, okay? And the question that we always got to come back to is, what story are you willing to live? What story are you willing to live? Because if the story is only that, you know, the systems put in place here are actually your master, then you're not necessarily going to be of much help if people do decide to rebel. Think about that, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next one.